My name is Muse. I come to Wonthaggi in 2008. I came with my husband, a clone, and 2 children. I'm my nephew. My children is April and Paula. My daughter, 50. My son, 14 now. We live in refugee camp in Thailand for 10 years.
Karen State is a mountainous region located in Burma, also called Myanmar, in Southeast Asia. Karen is bordered by Thailand. The Karen people are part of the original inhabitants of Burma. Karen is pronounced Karen. Life in Karen has never been easy. Most Karen are farmers living a basic and quiet life with very few modern conveniences. They are a very peaceful people. Since 1824, there have been 3 Anglo-Burmese wars, and in 1886, Burma became part of British India. In 1948, Burmese independence from the British was granted, but the Karen people were not given equal rights. Since 1949, the Karen has struggled to form their own independent state, and in 1962, the Burmese army took control when systematic persecution of the Karen then began, and it continues to this day. Villages were attacked and burned, and the Karen then had to flee across the border to Thailand. This struggle is the world's longest running civil war. Since 1949, the Karen people have been fighting for their freedom with a small, tiny, ill-equipped army. They are enduring horrific human rights abuses at the hands of their own government and the army. The Burmese military regime consider the peaceful Karen as their enemies. As a result of the civil war, there have been several million displaced people, destroyed villages of around 4,300 and over 500,000 plus deaths. Human rights violations include and are not limited to torture, starvation, systematic rape, forced labour.
Muse came from Burma. The name of her village was Kauko. Her mother was killed by soldiers when she was 16. She never went to school. Muse had a daughter but had to flee her village because the soldiers came. Her daughter got sick and died. In 1977, the Burmese army arrived in her village and their homes and crops were all destroyed. 1988 was the year which brought her a terrible fate, one of her legs was destroyed by a landmine. The villagers who had fled with her took her to hospital. She had her leg amputated. Musei's husband was badly hurt in fighting, so they fled to a Thai refugee camp. Musei's sister and brother carried her through the jungle because she couldn't walk. They lived in the refugee camp for 10 years.
There are an estimated 150,000 refugees living in a dozen camps along the Thai-Burmese border, most Karen. Many families have been living in the refugee camps for around 2 decades, giving birth to children who are also still in confinement. Some can hardly remember their homeland anymore. The camps are considered temporary shelters by the Thai authorities, and they can be closed down at any time whenever the Thai government decides. The people who are left behind in the refugee camps are often the elderly, the sick, people with disabilities, people yet to be sponsored, approximately 145,000 people. Persecution still carries on to this day.
People ask me why I sponsored a Karen family, and maybe it was guilt, but I just didn't want to be one of those people that just did nothing.
Australian sponsorship organisations have been sponsoring refugees from different regions of Burma and from different ethnic groups. Karen people are one such ethnic community who is settled in Australia, and in particular in Wonthaggi and the Bass Coast area of Victoria, since 2007. Essential for a successful settlement process is the hospitality and generosity of individuals and local community organisations. In our community, Wonthaggi Neighbourhood Centre at Mitchell House has contributed to that process. We have played a pivotal role in assisting newly arrived Karen refugees to meet new people and make new friends. Through our various activities, we provide opportunity for local Wonthaggi residents and Karen members to share skills with one another, whether that be through arts and crafts, such as in our Friday craft group, in the Harvest Garden, or in the Youth Community Kitchen. Karen members have learnt English through our Saturday morning English conversation classes and have learnt to drive through our L2P program. There are now a total of 50 Karen living and working in our community. Young Karen are now finishing school and going on to tertiary education, apprenticeships or work. We have recently celebrated the arrival of a new baby at Wonthaggi Hospital. Increasingly, the Karen play an active role in our community life. They celebrate and share their own festivals with us, such as Karen New Year and the 5th anniversary of their arrival. They enthusiastically participate in local events, including the Wonthaggi Centenary celebrations, Inverloch Community Parade and Australia Day. As they settle and find their place in the local Bass Coast community, the Karen are now able to sponsor their own relatives to come to Bass Coast and join them in a new life. We have been so pleased and proud to share this part of their journey with them.
I have lots of people who help me, and I help just to studying and learning to reading and with in English, and I'm very happy.